If you're thinking about moving to Calgary, one of the biggest questions is this: what does it actually cost to live here every month? Not the sales pitch version, not the Calgary is cheap version, the real version. Rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, and the extra costs people forget about. In this video, I'm going to break down what it really costs to live in Calgary in 2026, who Calgary makes sense for, and what kind of monthly budget feels realistic. If you're comparing Calgary to Vancouver, Toronto, or anywhere else in Canada, this should help you get clear very quickly. First, the big picture. Calgary is still more affordable than many major Canadian cities. But it is not a cheap city. It's not a cheap city anymore. Housing is still the biggest monthly cost for most people. According to CMHC's 2025 rental data, the average purpose-built one-bedroom apartment in Calgary was about $1,582. A two-bedroom was about $1,914. An apartment vacancy was around 5% overall. So renters do have a bit more choice than they did at the tightest point in the market. Let's start with housing. If you're renting, that's your biggest cost. A practical way to think about it is this. For a basic one bedroom in a decent area, you're often starting around the low to mid $1,500s on average. For a two bedroom, you're around the $1,900 mark on average. Now, of course, neighborhood, building quality, parking, pets, age of building, and amenities can all move that number. If you're buying instead of renting, Calgary still offers better value than Vancouver or Toronto. But affordability depends on your down payment, interest rate, property taxes, condo fees if you're buying a condo, and how much house you're trying to buy. So when people ask me, is Calgary affordable? My answer is, it can be, but only if you budget properly. Next, utilities. This is where a lot of people get surprised. In Calgary, utilities vary a lot depending on whether you live in a condo, townhouse, or detached home. And of course, winter matters. If you're in a condo, some utilities may be included. If you're in a detached home, utilities can become a much more meaningful monthly expense. Then add internet and cell phones on top of that, of course. This is one of the biggest reasons why someone moves to Calgary, gets more house, and then wonders why the monthly budget still feels tight. Now let's talk groceries. Food costs have gone up across Canada, and Calgary is no exception. Canada's Food Price Report for 2026 projects that a family of four will spend about $17,571 per year on food. That works out to roughly $1,464 per month. Now that's a national benchmark, not a perfect Calgary-specific grocery number, but it is a very useful planning reference. So in real life, I like to think about groceries like this. If you're single and disciplined, maybe you can stay somewhere around $350 to $600 a month. A couple might be around $700 to $1,000 or more. And families go up from there very quickly, especially if you eat out often, buy convenient foods, or shop premium. Next, transportation. If you use transit, Calgary Transit currently lists an adult monthly pass at $126. Adult single rides are $4. So for some people, transit is actually a very manageable cost. But Calgary is still a car city for a lot of people, and that changes the math. Gas, insurance, parking, maintenance, winter tires can all add up quickly. That's why two people can live in the same part of Calgary and have a very different monthly budget. One uses transit, the other has two vehicles. Huge difference. Now let's talk about hidden cost. Number one, winter. Heating, winter clothing, winter tires, snow gear, and all the little cold weather costs add up. Number two, sprawl. Sometimes people choose a home because it looks great, like it's a great value, but then they spend more time, fuel, energy commuting. Number three, housing extras, parking stalls, storage lockers, condo fees, landscaping. home maintenance, and simply furnishing a larger home. So yes, your rent or mortgage might be lower than another city, but the rest of your monthly life still matters. Now let me give you a few simple planning examples. If you're a single renter living fairly responsibly, you might land somewhere in the mid 2,000s to low 3,000s per month all in. That depends mostly on your housing choices and whether you drive or take transit. If you're a couple renting a 2-bedroom, you're obviously higher than that once when you add in food, utilities, transportation, and lifestyle spending. And if you're a family, your biggest cost swings are usually housing, childcare if applicable, and how many vehicles you have. So the headline is this: Calgary can absolutely offer better value, but your monthly reality depends on the kind of Calgary life you choose. Who is Calgary best for? In my opinion, Calgary is great for people who want more space, better access to the outdoors, and a more realistic path to home ownership than they can get in cities like Vancouver or Toronto. It's especially good for people who move with a plan. If you choose the right neighborhood and understand your real monthly budget, Calgary can be an amazing move. But if you come here assuming it's automatically cheap, you may be surprised. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or moving to Calgary, and you want help figuring out which neighborhoods fit your budget and lifestyle, feel free to reach out anytime. Thanks for watching.